Hey everybody, do you want to make a D&D podcast like us or really any podcast? Well, then you got to know about Anchor. First off, my favorite part, it's very free. It's the most free. It costs no dollars. That's sick. Second part, you can start monetizing with their monetization tools immediately with no minimum listenership. Also very sick. You can now, this is new. You can take any song from Spotify and add it directly into your episodes, and let me tell you, that's freaking sick nasty. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
Last time on Lawful Stupid, you were able to get away from the Togershan army from the help of a friend, Eshi. She was able to get in touch with Alaric, Loxodon, and he was able to bring his Earthadillo out to your location. And you told him you wanted to head down to South Barrow. You just wanted to cut through all the noise and make your way to Catacomb Isles. Fume, you will hear the voice of Riz in your head. And he says,
"We're able to get you some help, but I need you to do me a favor. And when you get to the forest, remember how you found me the first time, the big white tower? I need you to do that again."
You make your way up the stairs that circle the inside of this tower. You knock on the trap door that's there. So glad you made it.
Well, I'm just gonna go explore the tower while they do this.
You make it to the top of this tower where normally like a window might be that would see out. And instead of it being a window, there's this red door, not a bright red door.
I think Will's gonna channel his invoker juices to his hand. Is like one with his element and his god. He's gonna open the door, or attempt to open the door.
And you open the door, and standing in front of you is Dean in like his like undies in his own room, and he says, "Well, this is unexpected." Crew made their way on an Earthadillo down through the dreadful forest covered in snow, which was also covered in snow, to a campfire that was oddly placed with no other footprints around it, but these strange bat things that seemed to be hanging in the trees. They did encounter them, but were quickly shooed away with Alaric's nostril blast? Trunk blow. They proceeded to make their way out of the forest to the edge of the river, swiftly across that river due to some shadow jumping and a quick wit by Fume.
A jaunty tune in my heart.
A jaunty tune, which will be made into a musical. And we're able to make Riz's tower reappear strategically about 5 days' travel from the dome of the... Dang it, right at the end I messed it up. The dome of the Catacomb Isles.
The Dome of
You
Doom.
almost had it.
Almost did it in one. And where we left off was they were learning about the reinforcements that were going to be coming to them from Riz. And the last thing that happened is William decided he would just go upstairs and try the door that Riz and Ryan can never seem to go into. But he was successful. Landing on the other side of the door, in his pajamas, was Dean. What are you? How did you? Why is this? I'm William. What are you doing here? This is my closet.
Good. Just checking. Your house is in what city? One more time.
The Sun Elf Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hey, go get the queen.
Not this again. Listen to me. She's not interested.
No, it's not like that. Listen, I just don't want to leave. I don't go through the door. I don't know what'll happen, so I just figured we keep the door open. Go get the queen. Tell her I need her help. To save the world? Question mark.
Where are you?
The details are muddy and messy, but the catacomb? I'm catacomb adjacent. Oh, and you know the big
the
red
sleeper
moon
islands
coming to Earth to destroy it?
Yes, it's getting bigger.
Yeah, we're gonna stop that.
Well, I hope so, because otherwise everything is just gonna be dead. How is Beatrice. Is she okay?
You go give me the queen. I'll give you a rundown on Miss B. And maybe put on some pants. Maybe not. Either or.
Deal. And he like reaches in like past you to get some clothes. If you think, oh sorry, these are just my favorites. Sorry. If we're gonna go to war, I'm just gonna. These are the ones I'm gonna wear.
Weird that.
Can you just move over just a little bit? Thank you.
Okay. I'll wait.
I'm just gonna leave this closet door open in case.
Yeah. Don't
disappear. Everything's. He runs away. For a while. I'll have to find one person. Oh. And he's able to bring back Bertrand and the queen.
Oh, hey.
So Bertrand was the guard.
I remember.
And Bertrand winks at you and he says, I need you to come back.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, hey, you just short version this, and we're gonna establish trust because I didn't lay waste to your city. Remember the moon that's coming to crash down? Everybody sees it, big red, big bad. We all agree that's not good for your kingdom, yes?
And the queen says, of course it's not.
Perfect. Catacombs, real bad. On the same page?
Why? Yes, but why is it bad?
Mostly because, that's what's bringing down the moon.
Okay. But what would you have us to do?
I'm glad you asked. So, there's going to be a war, and we could use your people for the war.
And she kind of turns dramatically and she says, my people haven't been in war since...
Yeah, the Twilight Elves. It's going to be weird. They're on our side. So you guys are going to be like side by side fighting. But it's important because, Taggarts, yeah, they're on the bad side.
And the name
so
Taggart brings back like an even worse taste. And she says,
yeah, you thought the Twilight Elves were bad? We're basically fighting neo-Nazis, and you may not know what that is, but
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's bad. Imagine like what you thought the Twilight Elves were, and then what you thought the Taggarts were. Mm-hmm. It's neo-Nazis are kind of like that.
Well, what would you have us do?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I just need you to go get your army and march them right through this door, and then we'll gather up here.
And she kind of like takes a couple steps by to like look in, and she sees like how small this room is and how like
it's bigger on the inside, I promise.
I suppose I've seen stranger things in the past month or two.
You wanna step through? I mean, I'm sure you can step back.
She hesitates. She says, no. We'll send soldiers through, and then I'll follow.
Sure.
Too. I just don't want to get trapped there, and they're with them. Without me.
Sure. I'll wait.
So, Queen Lizia, she kind of turns back to Bertrand, puts an arm on his shoulder. She says, prepare for war. And Bertrand just, like, surprised, and she says, now, boy. And Bertrand, like, looks to you, and then he scampers away, and Joffrey, brother, is still kind of just, like, using the, like, spear to pick his nose. And on his way out, he's like, Joffrey!
Hey, Joffrey, we always need somebody for the front line.
Joffrey! Yeah, you're going to be a brave hero, Joffrey. Come on! And he drags him out the door. It's some time. Like, you hear like a...
hey, Queen, can you send Dean back into Dean's closet?
Dean comes back in, and he's like kind of sweating from where he's been running around, spreading the word as well.
Hey, Dean, why don't you get armored up and come on in here? You can have like a quick reunion before the fight.
Yeah, I'd love to. Let me just go put my best armor in, and I'll be right in there. So he runs to another room, throws on some armor. It's a pretty light set of armor, and it doesn't look like he's used it very often. It's like it's shiny, more for maybe show than actual use. He's like, all right, I think I'm ready. I'll just come through with you guys.
Okay, come on.
Okay. He steps inside, and I think as he's coming in, you begin to see more of the troops that are lining up inside of Dean's house to come in through his Narnia closet.
Real quick. So Dean comes through. He's got shiny armor.
Shiny armor.
Right? Hey, Dean. Do you just want to look real cool for Miss B?
This looks good. This is my best armor.
No, it looks like you're a bitch.
Why would you say that? Why is that a thing?
You've never fought before, but I could make that armor have some wear on it. Put some flames on it to make it look like you've actually seen combat.
Oh, some flames would be really cool, actually.
Yeah, not what you think.
He melts into a pile of goo.
I want to tarnish his armor and make it look worn.
No, okay, it looks, burned. Freshly burned.
Yeah, now it looks like you fought dragons. You're welcome.
Dragons haven't existed for thousands of years, William.
That makes you a badass.
Oh my god, I have to explain how to create a whole backstory for all this armor that is...
No, don't lie about it. Just don't bring it up. Don't walk up and lie.
But what if she asks, first thing, oh, you have this newly burnt armor. What am I supposed to say to her?
I don't think that'll happen. Go. And I shove him in the direction of Miss B.
Yeah, and then the army is coming through, and they're kind of looking to you for, can we come through?
I give him a high five and push him along.
And Dean, so he heads downstairs.
Everyone.
All of it.
Anyway, so I hope Will's not upstairs inciting a race war.
Yeah, he's been up there. It's been 20, 30 minutes. We've
already started Monopoly without him.
Yeah, exactly. God, he's going to miss. We're on our second batch of cocoa.
That never ends well.
Riz he's talked you through kind of adding up what your troops look like. Okay, so Twilights are coming, that's great. How many can you expect from that? Oh, you've also got your baker's dozen boner cycle orcs who are going to make their way here, and they're probably going to do some big stuff.
Each boner cycle is worth a dozen men, so
you've got some invokers also that are going to be coming with the Twilight Elves. You've got the Megalos, which is, in its own right, an army of its own. Also, you've got this Loxodon who's got his Earthadillo that's going to be helping as well.
And my axe.
So, and
my bow.
Presumably, Breeze is...
He'll be here any second.
Doing something.
The second it's most dramatic, he'll be here.
All right. And so you're kind of just taking stock of what you've got. And then Dean steps down the stairs into this main quarters.
Oh, hey, Dean.
He says, hey, you, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Yeah, Will told me to come on down, so here I am.
How'd you get here?
Yeah.
And then Dean says, through the magic door. And as soon as he says, magic door, Riz stands up so fast that whoever's sitting on the couch with him, you flip over, and he says, he opened the door, and he's like, he opened the door? And they both run, and he's pushing through people, and the door is open, and he's staring at it, as soldiers pass him around the shoulders, in this very small room. They're just bumping into him every time as high fives are given.
Yeah, B is situating herself so her skirt's not flipped up. Thank you very much.
And Dean helps her to her feet. And he says, "It's been so long. I'm glad you're okay."
It doesn't feel like that long, but thank you. Nice armor. That's new.
I got it from a dragon. Dragon. I killed it, and this is the armor that it had in its belly, and I got it. I'm sorry. That's a lie. William he said I didn't look very cool because I had this shiny new armor, and so then he shot me with fire, and I just gotta be honest with you.
Here, and she'll press to digitate it clean. Get all the burnt scuff marks off.
Well, what do you like it? Do you like this armor?
Oh, it's nice and shiny.
Oh, thank you. So I guess we're going to war together. That's pretty cool.
War is not that fun, but figuring out how time went, I was in war when you were not even born. This is kind of interesting.
Well, you made it through.
I was asleep for 600 years.
Man, time is weird.
Neo's armor was twice as shiny as yours.
Oh, Neo's armor was black.
You'll never be my real dad.
No, Neo's armor was black. Kind of sparkled a little bit.
Neo's armor was badass.
Back upstairs, Riz and Ryan, like almost tears, like his eyes are welling up. William, did you open that door?
Yo. Was I not supposed to?
There are very few people who have that ability. You know, our friend Findle from Goron can do so. There's another individual who likes to sell goods, but he comes in from time to time and goes as he pleases, but no one else.
Yeah, maybe I'll show you how sometime.
What did you do?
It's a pull, not a push.
Oh gosh. Bless.
Yeah, you just open it. I channeled all my divine powers, and I turned the knob, and the knob like exploded in my hand, and then I pulled the golden.
You really know how to work a knob.
You gotta reach for the under knob is the secret.
Yeah. I've heard that before.
You gotta handle both knobs at the same time.
Yeah, it's I just opened the door, man.
So the knob exploded, and then you were just able to do whatever you wanted with
It left a messy residue on his hand.
Well,
but
it was a consensual, I think. I think the door opened and I asked. It's fine.
The end. The end of bit.
Listen, Riz, I'd love to keep talking to you about this, but I have all these high fives to give.
Hold on. And he stops the soldiers. He stops us.
Whoa, what? Hey, what are you doing?
I have to try. No, I have to see. I have to see if I can go through.
No. Oh, you want to go through? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Riz, this is where you're supposed to be now. This is where the final, it's very ironic, but...
All right. Doesn't matter if I can go through.
Yeah, maybe next time.
No. We are needed here. We'll fix things and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Look, I opened the door once. I could probably do it again. But just in case I can't, we're just going to leave this door open for right now, okay?
Yeah, here, and I wedge a rock underneath of it. My shadow stepping rock. I grab that. And
You've defeated my door to other worlds.
and I kick it a few times underneath of it.
It's like I don't have long distance calling, but I've got local area calling, so it's fine.
His shoulders kind of slump. He's kind of defeated by it. He's happy that the door was open, but he's his chance. He knows where he needs to be, so he doesn't go through. And he says, "I'll just be downstairs making rations for everyone.
Refreshments, yeah. You promised."
Okay, here. Hey, Riz.
Yeah.
Hold my hand for a second.
And the blue dragonborn put this giant claw hand in yours.
And I'm going to walk him over to the door, and I'm going to be like, if you want to step through, you can just step through for a minute. I'll be right here, so you won't go all the way through or get stuck or nothing, because I'll hold your hand.
Okay. And he stoops his giant body in through this doorway, and he's able to step through.
And I'm gonna look at him dead in his eyes while I'm holding his hand. I go, "Hey man, I won't be mad if you let go."
And he does let go of your hand. And then he looks back. He says, "There won't be anything left if we don't take care of things here." And he steps back through. And then he puts both hands on your shoulders and says, "Thank you." And he gasps and he pushes soldiers out of the way. And I don't know if he's going downstairs. You just see him just bolting downstairs.
William starts waving soldiers back through. Come on.
And he runs down the stairs. I think if you guys were and then you hear, "Woohoo! Yes!" And he's like, "This is so fun!" And if you step out on the balcony and look down, you see a Riz Ryan combination making giant snow angels on the ground. because they can get out of the tower now.
There's an extra weird wing because of the tail.
Yeah. It's a fifth leg.
2-tier dress. I'm going to start grabbing these soldiers and directing them to like establish a camp outside of the tower because they can't all stay in this tower. So they're going to need like to establish a foothold here, like a garrison.
Yeah, and I think over a day or so, they know they've got 5 days. It's been briefed. People are beginning to make their way here, alternate routes. So you've got sort of this two-pronged approach to the Catacomb Isles. The Tigersian army obviously has like the most direct path, and they have kind of taken that over. Anyone who's coming to help you knows to avoid that. And over the next couple of days, they build kind of this contraption to bring in items through the door.
Mm-hmm.
They build a system of pulleys to take lumber and supplies, and they are building this makeshift camp. And it has started all around, the center of this thing is the tower. They started building hard structures for soldiers' quarters, places for their battlements, for their equipment. Because they're just taking shifts. It's almost they've just moved the camp here. This is their new home for the next few days, several days. Day 3, you feel the earth begin to rumble. As you look at your tower and you see that the Megalos has made its way to you all. And as Eshi gets close, you're able to, because she's Kalistar, she reaches out to you, William. She says,
It's about time. And I just mean that mostly for me.
I was about to say, if you came here and talked some shit about, I've been here for forever. Also, I opened a door in the tower, and Riz is real happy now, so.
That seems impressive. A door's a door.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but Riz is stoked.
Well, that's good news. If he's
Yeah.
happy, I'm happy.
Good. Also, your Earthadello friend is here, and we call him Rock and Roll now. I expect you to get on board.
Oh, well, I hope you're nice to him. He can be a little slow, but he's one of the best friends I ever had. Mostly dependable compared to anyone.
Don't trust a man who won't eat a rabbit offered to him for free.
He never forgets. Oh, hold on, you didn't hear that. We're in a call. You didn't hear that.
That was just me, Chainsaw, talking about
Just
life.
talking him asleep.
Just talking about life.
It's nighttime on day 4. And you don't hear them, but you hear a kind of a murmuring downstairs of people, shouts back and forth. And then like this light kind of sweeps over, kind of the snow there, like it glistens, like a really bright glistening. And it seems like out of thin air appears this really elegantly dressed, but also very dangerously armored Twilight army. And they're rolling 15, 20,000 deep. And behind them is this like caravan. They have several, probably a mile or two long. And they've got guards posted around those as well. And they pull up into camp, and they've got supplies, and they've come to set up, and they begin to do the same thing. And at first, there's a lot of bickering as you walk around now these encampments. There's a lot of fighting between the Sun Elf Kingdom and the Moon, the Twilight Elves, or the Moon Elves.
Of course I gotta go greet them.
B, I think there's a point where because you've seen both sides, and you think that it is, like, there's a big misunderstanding here. Like, time has changed. You know them. You know what they're about. And you also know these Moon Elves and the Twilight Elves. You really don't have as much experience with the Moon Elves because your family moved away a long, long time ago. So maybe you're wondering why the Moon Elves are here.
Yeah, that's a big question. I feel like B would try to, I guess, sneak in on the meetings of the leaders of the various groups, because we have the Sun Elf Queen, and who knows what the Moon Elves are, but she knows her siblings, so she can stand in over there. What's going on here?
Yeah, I think Lafayette and Marguerite are both there. Marguerite has like a noticeable bump on her stomach as well.
What's that all about?
And she just smiles as she touches her stomach, and she says, "Well, I thought I was too old to have a child, and it seems the gods think otherwise."
Well, that's impressive.
Having children, it's pretty normal. At
I've
my
already
age,
had
perhaps.
several. At your age, yes.
Well, I love it all the same.
Well, congratulations, but I did hear fighting and bickering, so
Yes. It seems the age-old battle between the sun and the moon still likes to reign in. But I was able to travel out. I have some old contacts at the Moon Kingdom. I may have stretched the truth a little, but they no doubt know that the moon has changed and has affected even their ability to work and to live. And so it wasn't extremely difficult to convince them that we would need their help or they would perish.
well, of course that would. No, if the moon comes down either further, everyone's going to perish. Shouldn't we all just unite under one cause at this point? It's ridiculous. Still fighting over what? Land now?
I would think so, but people face danger every day and then find something to complain about. And these people are no different.
Maybe a war against something even more frightening will help unite them.
I'm afraid that that's potentially the only way that they'll see that we fight for the same thing. And we can be one again. Or at least learn to coexist.
It would be pleasant. Be nice to see the extended family we've never got to meet.
And she grabs her stomach and she looks down and she smiles. She says, "Indeed.
But really, should you be here?
I would miss it. I'll stay away from the danger."
Oh, good.
Lafayette swears he'll protect me, and then Lafayette comes from out of the crowd and he's eating a giant loaf of bread and he's like, "They said there would be refreshments." And he's just chomping down on it.
You both are far too old to be fighting. Really?
Oh, I'm not going to fight. I'm going to command. That's what I do. Sister will stay in the tower and watch us destroy the enemy from a distance.
Okay, good. Jeez, you act like you're still a couple centuries old.
He's like, "Look at this armor." And it's extremely shiny and well kept. No dings, dents.
Yeah, that means you're a child in battle, brother. Ridiculous.
Somewhere nearby, Dean just.
And so she says, "But seriously, sister, I hope that you won't be too much in the thick of it. Let these armies fight for once."
I will let them do as they do, and if I find myself near the front, then that's where I am.
I know that I won't stop you from the last time.
Yeah, you could try that older sibling card, and it just doesn't quite work.
Well, this little one's gonna need his or her aunt around. So it'd be great if you wouldn't go getting yourself killed.
I will do my best not to. I will promise that.
She kind of nods back and forth, so says, "I guess I'll take it." And then she just reaches in and gives you a hug. And from out of nowhere, Lafayette jumps in. He's like, "Oh yes, my favorite!" And he's chomping crumbs all over you guys.
Oh my gosh, I just cleaned this.
Let's just do this. Beatrice, can you roll Here's what I want to do. I don't know what this is. Maybe performance. This is kind of just you are able to walk between these camps, kind of pulling key leaders away from each of the camps, and trying to just build some relationships over the next couple days. Kind of like highlight that they need each other despite their, the misgivings in the past.
You want a persuasion?
Well, it's kind of like we're just doing this role to make up for this entire army, right? So just you're kind of like, if it was to happen over a period of time. Guys, weigh in. What would that be? Persuasion could be it.
Sounds like you're describing a flat charisma.
You're persuading people.
Yeah, good luck, B.
She can observe some shit out of some armies.
What is it? Is it like a 1?
Natural 20?
That was a nat 1 for a 2.
This moment brought to you by kingdoms who still hate each other even long after the war has been won.
Here. I have been saving up my lawfully stupid inspiration for
this is a good time to use
saving Lucian Fume.
Okay.
Let me finally use that. We'll see how well that goes. For a whopping 5.
5.
You are able to. There's one group where they first blend from. They've almost one side of the tower, Moon Elf, one side of the tower, Sun Elf. But there's a pocket that's close to underneath where you can step out the outcropping of this tower. They've kind of begin to hang out and chit chat a little bit. More so than anyone else has between the two races of elves.
Oh my gosh. Because they're doing still so awfully, could I lie my way and just kind of have them just spread little false positive rumors around the camps to make them a little more happier? I'm a better liar than...
You would like to do that yourself, or to have these other elves kind of help you do that with their own races, have them convince their own people
yes
of things that are good about the opposite races.
Yes, please.
Give me another charisma check.
I'm gonna go with deception, please.
Or just you want to do? Okay, so you're gonna tell them things that they're gonna spread. Okay.
Yeah. 18. There you go. Little white lies everywhere.
You're building false narratives that are good. They're hey, did you see that the Sun Elves gave food to the Moon Elves because this group that didn't have any? Oh, did you see these guys training up the Sun Elves because or they healed this guy for just because he got injured and they took their own time to. And so you're kind of spreading these things out. So I will give you that. Let's say about a quarter of these individuals now are interacting instead of a 16th or a pocket of them.
Oh, thank God! Thank you.
One thing we love at Lawful Stupid, among the other things we love at Lawful Stupid, is spreading the word about your business. Or maybe you want to tell your sweet, sweet grandma that you love her for the world to hear. We want to give you that chance. If you're a business and want to get your services on the air, or just want to tell a loved one a personal message, head on over to lawfulstupid.org/message in a bottle. There you can take around 250 words to say what you want. Business ads are $20, personal ads are $10. Tell the world what you have to hear with Lawful Stupid's Message in a Bottle.
Can Fume kind of check in with wherever the war table is, wherever people are standing over maps and discussing strategy?
Yes, I think that there is probably 3 floors that are underneath the ground floor, and they expand because at the base is the largest, right, that they built this tower on, and magically moves. So it has a large area for probably 15 to 20 people to be in, and you've got some high-level officers from both kingdoms. You've got Eshy, I think even William's there, of course, because of the Megalos. You've got the Loxodon, Alaric, who's down there. You've got Riz and Ryan. I don't know if Beatrice would be down there at all.
Oh, yeah, she would. Yeah.
Okay. So, and we can transition to that now. And so the fight, or at least where you're going to enter into this fight, is a couple days away, and the moon is extremely close. You've got probably a week left, but you're going to head out in a couple days to fight.
Yeah. So there's obviously some guy. I'm assuming there's some big cheese general types in the room representing these different.
Yes, and they've been in wars or studied wars because they have some of them they were babies during the war, and so there were still some of those offshoots of rivalries that happened. Even after the wars had ended, there were still like feuds.
So, what's the best worst idea we have so far?
And Riz says, "Well, we've got to get inside because we don't know what we're looking for inside, but that's where Nova is. That's where she wanted you to be, yes?"
Yeah. I have a few notes, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I've been noticing kind of the tensions around camp. So I think we should probably avoid any mixed unit tactics if we can. We should probably try to regiment these guys in groups. My recommendation to the leadership from the Sun and Moon tribes, you guys are never going to get along with each other, so maybe you encourage them to compete against each other. You really going to let those Moon Elves go out there and kill more Togershan scum than us, the Sun Elves? No way, guys, that kind of thing. Can I borrow the Moon Elves? Moon Elves, you got your zoo leader here?
For what?
So my plan is at nighttime, me and the Moon Elves, who operate by night and are elusive, are going to come in with some guerrilla tactics, and we're going to terrorize these bastards all night long. They're not going to get a second to sleep because we're going to be hitting them with hit and runs all night long, disappearing into the darkness and really messing their days up. Once they're tired and just exhausted from dealing with us all night and the sun breaks, I think the Sun Elves come in, fully supported by the Megalos and the Armadillomon, and we just hit them with everything at that point. I think that at that point, Miss B, you're probably the best presence on the battlefield for any of these guys to look to. So maybe, as a beacon of your people, you kind of like lead the charge on the battlefield, and then obviously you'll have to be there in the Megalos if we're using that. Maybe at that point I'm kind of redundant in a large scale encounter. I could run in and try to turn off the moonbeam. I could just make a dash for it and see if I can just stop the mechanism.
It's a sound plan, which will help to reduce their numbers greatly for the main attack. I would agree.
And the morale's just going to be shot because we're gonna do some bad stuff. Hey, Moon Elves, we're gonna do some bad stuff.
And they are just all of them are straight faced. You haven't seen a Moon Elf that's smiled.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah,
They're very stern individuals.
We're gonna do some naughty stuff and protect your Mama Moon.
And they nod.
Or Daddy Moon. Which moon is it?
And they don't say anything.
Okay, rock and roll.
Just stern, but they agree. You saw that when you said like we're gonna mess them up. They're all for that.
Yeah. We're gonna do some very mean things to them.
And Riz says, so we attack
at dawn mostly. So it's like.
So you're going to attack tomorrow night?
No. So like if we how many nights and days specifically are there till so the day of the battle, the night prior to that is when we'll kick off.
2 nights leading into the 3rd day. So right now it's like a nighttime, I would say. You have 2 more nights, and then the next day you would ideally
on the second
be like
night is when we will strike.
Leading into the 3rd day, which is the main.
Which we will be relieved by the main force who are fighting fresh, get a full night's sleep.
Yeah.
all the troops get R&R up until then, and then they're ready to come in and just wipe the floor with these guys that we've harassed.
Okay. We will. So the night team will scout ahead because they're going to have scouts, no doubt. I don't know. We've not noticed any yet.
Yeah. So
I don't know how far they are out because you're still a couple days from.
Tonight, probably, and tomorrow night, Moon Elves roll with me at night. We're going to just be picking off scouts. That's all we're going to do. It's just deny them information by finding this. We'll be able to find them in the dark. I mean, Moon Elves and me. I mean, like, we'll be able to figure that out. And then we'll just do that for the next 2 nights, and then they'll be dead on information. They'll have lost a bunch of scouts. They'll be panicked already. They're not going to sleep at all because they're worried that we're going to strike, and they're getting no information from their scouts. Then we attack, cause chaos and dissension within the ranks. They're like that all night. Day team comes in with the Megalos, with the big armadillo, and all of our fighting fresh. Moon Elves then less effective in the night. You guys are gonna bounce. Your battle is fought and won. You guys go out.
Be on standby.
You guys are gonna go out and rest.
Numbers are growing all the time.
You become the reserves. And then you can critically strike wherever they need you the most because you'll be in reserves. I think is maybe the best. And open to any suggestions. If anybody's got any other tricks, moves, or anything, that's just how I think the best general outline of a plan goes.
You hear some loud commotions like outside from like a couple levels up above you, right? But you hear people yelling, screaming, perhaps. Just a few. Sounds like a bickering. It sounds like the Moon Elves and the Sun Elves are back at it again. But then the door kicks open, and there is this rather large orc who steps in, and he says, "Yeah, I got a plan. Kill everything. Where are we at on this?"
He's got my vote.
Oh, and he sees you guys, and he's like, "I knew it. Yeah, this is gonna be very good."
Is this the boner cycle guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Captain Drake.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you guys are with the day team for sure.
I don't know what that means, but we're there.
Good job. You will be there. The only thing I could think of is perhaps...
I'm going to have a hard time riding your boner cycles out from that door, down the stairs, into the camp.
You'd be surprised how well we can ride a boner cycle.
I believe you.
And what you'll know is he's got about 1,000 orcs that he's been able to bring from the camp.
1,000 orcs?
1,000 orcs.
I was correct when I said more than a dozen.
And they came from all over because they inhabit several parts of that land. You were only in like one small camp that the family owns, and so he will explain that like, oh, nope, we have a what do you call it when you own a store somewhere else? A franchise. So he's like a franchise.
Cool. That's helpful. 1,000 orcs makes a difference. I was over here being like, oh, dude, a dozen orcs on boner cycles are worth a dozen men, so that's like a dozen, but this is like 1,000 dozen.
1,000 dozen.
Yeah.
We're talking about baker's dozens? Or are we talking about regular dozens? I don't know.
Something better than that. And he says, brought that Barbados folk too. He said he couldn't miss out.
Hell yeah.
Delightful. He was rather pleasant and helpful.
They're all, the gang's all here. The only problem with this night plan of mine is I'd feel a lot more comfortable if there was just somebody there to watch my back from a distance.
And then,
oh, you know he's going to appear at the right moment.
Nothing happens.
Over here. All right. Just
all right.
On the wind.
On the wind. So cool.
So goddamn cool.
So, all right, generals, you have your orders. It seems like, Fume, you've kind of taken a lead role here, and so I will...
Oh, I'm super lazy, so I just want to do things the most right way possible, so I don't have to work as hard.
Any other suggestions? And everyone kind of just the plan is Moon Elves next couple nights, picking people off, scouting ahead, reporting back, and
we're gonna poison their food, guys. We're gonna.
Whatever you need. Whatever you need. I don't need details, but this is war. We are fighting for everyone in Nove Terra, and the evils. They don't care. Just know that they do not care about you, and they would kill everything for a chance for a demigod to be raised to god status. My father was a demigod. They can be quite useful, but they can also be quite belligerent, and that is the case we are experiencing here. And she must be stopped. Let's get to work.
Yep.
And I think a lot of preparations are made. The Moon Elves, again, this is like that's when they're awake, usually, right? They're the nocturnal of the individuals. They begin packing up efficiently and only taking things they might need to set up a camp for like a day. So quick pup tents, stuff you can take down, enough rations for just a couple days, because the way they're packing, you think they don't intend to come back, and they intend to give everything while they're out there.
And I'm gonna set them to work in like different task force. Like these guys are gonna go poison food. These guys are gonna go sabotage. These guys are gonna get scouts with me.
And so you do that, and you break them into teams, and I think you head off that night. But there's conversation or something you want to have with these two as you head off on this night?
They don't talk a lot, and I don't feel the need to. I mean, they know what they're about. I know what I'm about.
William, and because I imagine they know that you're going to be leaving. If they get the picture of that.
I mean, I'll be back in the morning. They might not intend to come back. I'm sleeping during the day. Fuck that. I'm not going into this final battle with 4 levels of exhaustion.
B would still hug Fume before he goes.
You want to get back?
Good. Then you'll get another one when you get back.
For sure.
See you later, dude.
You know, man.
All right.
William's not worried about him coming back at all. He will come back.
I'm not super concerned.
Yeah.
I die 2 days from now. That's when I'm scheduled to meet death.
Fume and the Moon Elves march eerily, silently out into the snow toward the giant dome that now seems to be picking up some of that reddish color from the moon as being pulled toward the dome. William, what are you doing?
Resting. Could not be doing anything productive at all other than resting.
I think you do that in the Megalos.
Sure, hell yeah.
Because I picture there's like enough room, there is a room for you in this like place.
Can I make a counter proposal?
Go ahead.
Opens a bar in the camp, like Hawkeye,
and retires.
No, like Hawkeye and Mash. He like sets a tent up, and he's.
I mean, he could. He's got like the endless liquor. He could do that. I mean, if you want to play that card, what I'll do is give you some kind of bonus because you're going to be raising morale.
If you'd rather be in the Megalos, good.
I mean, well, now I have to. Listen, the min-maxer in me plus the bartender in me says, yeah, he's. But it's going to do it with a Sun City. He's going to do it with the Sun Elves.
Yeah, the other one's already gone anyways. Yeah, so you've got...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That left.
Yeah.
Well, the Twilight Elves are still around.
Yeah, so there's only one Twilight.
I kept saying
no,
Twilight.
There's only one Twilight.
Seems...
Beatrice is the only Twilight.
Oh.
The rest are Moon or Suns.
Oops.
I thought Beatrice... Wait. Are you saying that the Twilight Elves aren't here?
The Moon Elves. So there are Moon and Sun Elves. Twilight Elf is a rare combination of a Moon and Sun.
I see. I thought Miss B's whole town was Twilight Elves.
No, they're a combination of both Moon and Sun Elves.
I
retcon every episode, everyone, if I confuse you, and I'm sorry because I do that a lot.
It could just totally be me.
Nah, I was on board. I kept saying Twilight Elves a second ago when I was like, hey, don't worry, they're going to be here.
And then the Twilight Elves show up, and they rockin' sun and moon. They're so strong all the time. Do you want to serve
Yeah.
kind of alcohol?
Yeah, I want to set up a bar, man.
All right, you do. You almost have like a celebration, and they know they're going to get up in the morning and go. They're not drinking a ton, but they're just having a good time. And I think some stress is relieved as well, as like the Moon Elves have kind of set off, and they have a mission now. Like they're dead set, and so they're having a good time. And Bertrand says, "Hey, thanks for doing this, man. This is even if we don't make it through the next couple days, just know that I really appreciate you a whole lot."
Yeah, no problem. And I cannot stress enough. First of all, have this chain breaker, yeah? Drink that. You're gonna wanna drink that.
Just like home.
Okay, great. Now that you've drinking that, this is a one-way trip, my dude. Don't get it twisted.
I keep hoping that's not true.
Hey, and that's why you're a good dude. But I'm just not here to lie to anyone.
We all know that. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
No, keep saying that around the young soldiers. They need to hear it.
Well, they all know what they're here for. Because, the Moon Elf said it, our home's destroyed, there is no Sun Elf Kingdom. It doesn't matter. Moot point.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Look, this is a one-way trip. Unless it's not. But it probably is, but unless it's not.
You should drink more, probably.
I feel like it's only... I feel like that's going to... We're going to have a diminishing returns of like, yeah, cheerfulness to... Actually, the more I think about it. So, I think I'm okay right now. I mean, I'm in a healthy, understanding of our odds here. We are marching on a god. And while I'm quite confident of my abilities...
The Biofestos will lead us to victory.
Well said. Drinks another drink.
And I kind of think that's the setup, and I will give you advantage on something. There will be something that I say, if you want to, a large-scale attack that you want to do, or a large-scale event that you want to occur to help you advance into the bubble later on.
Excellent.
Beatrice, what you got going on?
I think she would kind of be helping morale as well. A friendly reminder to the Sun Elves that the Moon Elves are trekking ahead for them to have better odds in the battle in the morning. So don't let it get to their heads that they're the only ones doing well, that they're sacrificing their men's for them to do better in the morning. Or men and women, all of them. But overall, I think with her nature and nice passive insight, she would kind of more gravitate to the more nervous and sad ones and try to cheer them up in the more of the motherly fashion. Just try to take care of them, raise their spirits a little bit, give them a confidence boost of no, you'll do well, you'll do fine. All the same cause. Even if we don't make it ourselves, the future generations that we've left at home will have a better chance.
I think one thing that you also notice is that as you made your way through these camps, the caravans, they've brought a lot of the younger invokers. Well, I say younger, it's like the teenagers. So you see invokers that are any age from 15
Jeez.
to 20. And they are definitely all huddled up together, not in armor, kind of just hanging out with one another around this campfire. And there's probably 40 of them.
Yeah, she'll definitely gravitate there. And I don't know, I think the best way for B is to kind of tell stories to them. Because she was around 600 years ago, and she understood the stories of the war that her parents fought in then. They were always kind of inspirational. She would just kind of go on about the whole story of Sanjay and Terse and Unis. The true one that she knows, because apparently it's been wrong for 600 years.
And one of the young ones looks up to you and says, "But what if we're not strong enough?"
Well, look to the person to your left or your right, behind you,
And
in front of you.
they kind of do. They like slowly like get that you're telling them like to do that now, and they kind of look left and right.
We do better together. Being apart has brought sadness upon everyone, but see everyone here? We're all together and we're all going to work as such.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
She was lying.
She's lying the entire time. That's an 8.
They kind of look around. They still appear a little uneasy. Better than they were, but definitely not confident in themselves. And so where we're at now is we've got Fume, who's set off into the night with the Moon Elf army. And doing the things that they've already talked about doing. You can only imagine what Fume might be up to. We've got William, who is kind of building morale for the soldiers there. And I think in a very appreciative way, we've got on the opposite spectrum of William is Beatrice, who's kind of laying that motherly touch around as much as well. And that's as much appreciated as alcohol might be these times.
Yeah, but if they wouldn't have got drinks, they would have got Will's pep talk, which is it's a one-way trip.
Yeah. So maybe even just the motherly touch, whether or not it's convincing, is like enough to soothe them, you know. And I think where we end is kind of as we pan up and we see in the darkness the Moon Elves marching east toward the dome. The tower with all of the makeshift, like the shanties around it, and the soldiers milling about. The two megalos sitting far off, but like massive, much larger than the tower is, or like as big as the tower is. We hear a familiar tune that begins to build through as Beatrice walks to this camp, and she's humming that age-old tune that she was sung to as a baby, that she hummed to her children, and she is now humming as a source of peace to these soldiers. And that's where we're in the episode. Hey everybody, thanks for listening. We're very close to the end. I thought this one might be it, but it's not, but we're very close, and we're just glad that you're on the adventure with us, so thanks for hanging in there. And now to my crew to do all the things they typically do.
Hey, if you want to support the show, you know how to do that. You go to store.lawfulstupid.org. We got some affiliates. You can get you some sweet dice. Get you some things to roll with. And if they're bad, I blame Devin. If they're good, I thank Avon. If they're somewhere in the middle, that's Shane. Don't worry about me.
Okay.
But store.lawfulstupid.org. Get your shit. Give us a little taste.
Buy some shit.
You can also go to support our show, our Patreon at patreon.lawfulstupid.org, and for $1 a month you get all the extra little bits. You could even get some of the little fun previews Dwayne's got going on for C4 in our Patreon for $1. It's amazing. Or you can go up to $50 and we'll be able to see your chat while we record.
D&D has so many cool and epic moments, and I really like these episodes because you see all these different people from all these different walks of life, and they have well-established disagreements, and they come together because they know they're facing a crisis for the whole world. And I love feeling that way, and I don't want to stop when the game ends, and there's a crisis threatening our world right now in the form of climate change. So join me in continuing to be a hero by rolling for humanity for the Environmental Defense Fund. I rolled a 3, but we're stronger together. So come on and join me, and let's roll some dice, and let's band together and avert this crisis. It is a one-way mission unless it isn't.
All right, Ginge, on my track, this is going to be pushed out pretty far, but you do magic things, so I'll just let you do that, and I apologize, but it should be good now. All right, so good news story. This one just blows me away. Headline reads, this is the lengthy one. Scientists discover a quantum imprint within black hole's gravity that finally resolves Hawking's paradox.
Let me tell you something. It has been far too long since I've heard any of those words in a string of a sentence. And I'm just like, I don't even remember what any of those are, but they do all make sense to me.
Scientists are people who...
Yes, scientists are very smart people, and sometimes I play them in games, but sometimes I am not a scientist. So there's that. Have fun. Be smart.
Read that headline.
Scientists discover a quantum imprint within a black hole's gravity that finally resolves Hawking's paradox. I don't know what the paradox was, but it resolves.
Listen, I'd love to tell you the evil bit of this. I'd love to tell you the part, the sinister shit. But what I will say is, title of Elon Musk's sex tape.
I mean, it does look like a space butthole. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, so this does count. Obviously, this imprint does account for Hawking's paradox. It does not account, however, for Shane's paradox. Now, however, of course, Shane's paradox occurs whenever you have a black hole, which is matter so dense it would prohibit anything that is traveling at a speed less than the speed of light from escaping its gravitational pull. We all know that can trigger Shane's paradox. Now, luckily, I did find in my own microwave after I was reheating some pizza an imprint from the pizza that did account for 2xya divided by itself, which does resolve Shane's paradox. So now I deserve a medal because I said some made up bullshit. None of it's real. On the quantum scale, you can't prove any of it. None of it matters. It's not real, and they're just making it up to make a dime. I can do it too. It's not special. Wake up, sheeple.
I love it. This is the best one we've had yet. Oh, man. Well, that's that. And as we say always, we love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.